So good morning to all. So in this video we are going to discuss about problem on binary vapor cycle. Okay. So previously we have discussed a binary vapor cycle. So what is binary vapor cycle means? The binary vapor cycle we are using the combination of mercury and water as an working fluids to improve the efficiency of the plant. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about problem on binary vapor cycle. Okay. Problem on binary vapor cycle. So what is the problem given? Okay. So here it is given that a binary vapor cycle operates on mercury and steam. Standard mercury vapor at 4.5 bar is supplied to the mercury turbine, from which its exhaust is to 0.04 bar. The mercury condenser generates saturated steam at 15 bar, which is expanded in steam turbine to the 0.04 bar. Okay. So what you have to determine? We have to determine the overall efficiency of the cycle, and if 4800 kg per hour of steam flows to the steam turbine, what will be the flow rate in the mercury turbine? And next another thing we have to determine, what is the useful work done for specified flow rate, for the specified flow rate. Okay. Now, so see, this is the schematic layout of the binary vapor cycle. Okay. So here the inlet conditions for the mercury turbine is given as 4.5 bar, and exhaust of the mercury turbine is given as 0.04, and inlet of the steam turbine is given as 15 bar, and outlet of the steam turbine is given as 0.04 bar. So these are the conditions already given in the problem. Okay. So let us assume certain points to for easily writing down the formulas. Here in this diagram it is not represented. Let us assume that at mercury turbine, inlet of the mercury turbine, it is point to be assumed as L, and exhaust of the mercury turbine it is assumed as M, and after condensation it is assumed as N, and after feed pump it is assumed as K. Okay. So let us, the mercury cycle consists of the points L, M, N, K. Okay. So in the steam turbine it is assumed as 1, 2, 3, 4. It is assumed as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So in the problem, already the properties of the mercury is given at 4.5 bar and 0.04 bar. Okay. See, where at the inlet of the turbine it is assumed as point L. So where the pressure is 4.5 bar and temperature is 450 degrees centigrade. Okay. So in the turbine an isentropic expansion will be takes place. So we are hence we wish to have the straight vertical line. So at point M the pressure condition is given as 0.04 bar. Okay. So after condensation it lies in the saturated liquid region, where the pressure lies on the saturated liquid line, that is 0.04 bar. Saturated liquid line, it is represented as point N, and by means of feed pump it is supplied back to the boiler. We used to represent the point as point K. Okay. So now if you coming to the steam cycle, the amount of heat rejected by the turbine, by the mercury condenser, is equal to the amount of heat supplied to the steam generator. So by observing the heat, the steam which is produced at 15 bar, and temperature is 200 degrees centigrade. Okay. And the point lies on saturated vapor line. We are represented as point 1, where adiabatic expansion will takes place, and it is dropped to exhaust pressure of the turbine is given as 0.04 bar, and we are drawing a vertical line where that is point 2, and point 3 is the after condensation, and point 4 is after feed pump. Okay. This is the TS diagram as per given conditions. Okay. Now first of all we are going to determine the enthalpies or efficiency of the mercury cycle. So what is the efficiency? Efficiency is nothing but the amount of work done to the amount of heat supply. Okay. So now from the properties of the mercury table given in the problem, so that is HL. So what is the condition at HL? At HL it is 4.5 bar. So since the temperature is from 400 degrees centigrade, so it lies in the superheated region. Therefore, we can directly take the value of Hg at 0.1. Therefore, HL value is obtained as 355.98 kilojoule per kg. So entropy S1 is 0.5397 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So in turbine, an adiabatic expansion will be takes place, that is isentropic expansion will be takes place, entropy is constant. We can have it as S1 is equal to SL is equal to SM. So to determine the entropy, so at point M, we have to determine, first we have to determine the dryness fraction value. To determine the dryness fraction value, we are utilizing the equation Sm is equal to Sf plus x into Sfg. Okay. So here, what is the conditions at point M? At point M, the pressure is 0.04 bar. So therefore, we are considering Sf at 0.04 bar as 0.0808 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Sfg is nothing but difference between Sg minus Sf. So that I can take it as 0.6925 minus 0.080 at 0.04 bar condition. So from this I can have the Sfg value as 0.6117 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay. Now substituting the Sf value and Sfg values in the equation, in the above equation Sm equation, we have this 0.5397 is equal to 0.0808 plus x into 0.616117. So from this, by solving the equation, the dryness fraction value is obtained as 0.75. Since the dryness fraction lies, the dryness fraction is 0.75, we can state that it lies in the wet region. It lies in the wet region. Therefore, to determine the enthalpy at point M, we are using we are using the equation Hm is equal to Hf plus x into Hfg, x into Hfg. Okay. So Hf value is 29.98 kilojoule per kg at 0.04 bar, and Hg value is 329.85 kilojoule per kg. So this is also at 0.04 bar, and Hfg is nothing but Hg minus Hf. So 329.85 minus 29.98, that is equal to 299.87 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Substituting these values in the Hm, so that is Hf plus x into Hfg. We have Hm is equal to 29.98 plus x into 299.97. So we know the value of x. What is the value of x? X value is given as 0.75. Substituting that, we used to have Hm as 29.98 plus 0.75 into 299.97. So from this we can finally determine the enthalpy at point M as 254.88 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Now work done by the efficiency of the cycle is nothing but ratio of net work done to the amount of heat supplied. So therefore we have to determine the work done by the turbine and work done by the pump. So in the problem it is not stated as neglect the pump work. So therefore we have to consider the pump work also. Okay. So now the work done by the Mercury cycle is nothing but difference between enthalpies and the difference between, and it is nothing but enthalpy drop in the turbine. So that is HL minus HM. So we have determined the value of HL and we know the value of HM. Okay. So that is 355.98 minus 254.88. Then work done is obtained as, when the Mercury cycle is obtained as 101.1 kilojoule per kg. Similarly, the work done by the pump. Okay. So we are writing it as by applying the formula VdP. So we can write it as Vf into P1 minus P2. So what is the state at point 2 for the pump before entering into the pump is, it is in liquid state, because condensation is happening in condenser, it may be in liquid state. Therefore we are taking it as Vf into P1 minus V2. So Vf is given as 76.5 in 10 power minus 6. So initial pressure supplied is 4.5 bar and final pressure is 0.04 bar into 100. That we used to get it as 0.0341 kilojoule per kg. Okay. See, generally why we are neglecting the pump work means, and here if you compare the work done by the turbine and work done by the pump, the work done by the pump is very less and negligible. Therefore, we can write the net work done in the mercury cycle as Wt minus Wp. So that is 101.1 minus 0.0341. Finally, approximately we used to get the same value as 101.1 kilojoule per kg. Next, the heat supplied in the mercury cycle. Heat supplied in the mercury cycle. Okay. So the heat supplied in the mercury cycle is QHG is equal to HL minus HFK. HL minus HFK. Okay. So he see HL minus HFK. Okay. So we know the value of HL and we have to determine the value of HFK. So what is the HFK? So HFK is 29.98. So that is the 0.4. It is in saturated liquid state at pressure of 0.04 bar. Therefore, we can take the value of HF is equal to HFK at 0.04 bar, that is 29.98. Therefore, we can write substitute place of HFK, we can substitute it as 29.98. Therefore, heat supplied is 355.98 minus 29.98, that is equal to 326 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Now, the efficiency of mercury cycle is net work done to the amount of heat supplied, that is 101.1 divided by 326. The efficiency is obtained as 31% for the mercury cycle. For the mercury cycle, the efficiency is obtained as 31%. Okay. So now we are going for steam cycle. So since with the binary vapor cycle we are having two cycles, one is mercury cycle and another one is the steam cycle. Now we are going to for steam cycle. Okay. So the inlet condition to the turbine is given as 15 bar. So from the steam table book at 15 bar we can determine the H value. H1 is equal to 2789.9 kilojoule per kg and S1 as 6.4406 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So at 0.04 bar, that it is assumed as HF is equal to 121.5 kilojoule per kg and HFG as 2432.9 kilojoule per kg and SF as 0.432 kilojoule per kg Kelvin, SFG as 8.053 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So we know that in the turbine an adiabatic expansion will be like, that is entropy is constant, therefore we can consider S1 is equal to S2 is equal to SF plus X into HFG. So here SF plus X into HFG will help us to determine the enthalpies or entropies in the wet region, okay. So substituting the values of SF and SFG at 0.04 bar, we can, and S1 in the place of S2 is substituting the S1, we can determine the dryness fraction value of X, okay. So that is 6.4406 is equal to 0.437 plus X into 8.053, okay. So from this we can determine the dryness fraction value X is equal to 0.747, okay. So if you know the enthalpy, to determine the enthalpy value, H2 is equal to HF plus X into HFG, okay. So the place of HF, we know the HF value as 121.5 and the dryness fraction value as 0.747 and HFG value as 2432.9. Finally, we used to get it as 1938.8 kilojoule per kg at 0.2, enthalpy at 0.2, okay. So now we have to determine the work done by the steam turbine. Work done by the steam turbine is nothing but H1 minus H2. So we know the value of H1 as 2789.9 and we have determined the value of H2 as 1938.8. So finally we used to get the work done by the steam turbine is 851.1 kilojoule per kg. Now what is the work done by the pump? The work done by the pump is Vf into P1 minus P2. So here for the steam cycle the initial pressure is 15 bar and exhaust pressure is 0.04 bar. So therefore the Vf value is 0.001 into 15 minus 0.004 into 100. So from this we can determine the work done by the pump is 1.5 kilojoule per kg, which is negative work, okay. Because as in the thermodynamics we have discussed that whenever the work is supplied to a system it is considered as negative, whenever work developed by the system it is considered as positive. Therefore the net work done net amount of heat supplied is H1 minus HF4. Amount of heat supplied is H1 minus HF4. So what is HF4? HF4 is nothing but HF value at 0.04 bar. Therefore, substituting that, we used to get it as 2789.9 minus 123. So we used to get it as 266.9 kilojoule per kg. Okay. So now the net work done in the steam cycle is nothing but the difference between work done by the turbine and work done by the pump, feed pump. Okay. So now that is turbine plus feed work done by the pump. So since the pump is here, pump is negative work is going to be developed, therefore we can consider it as 851 minus 1.5, that is to get it as 849.6 kilojoule per kg. That is the net work done developed by the steam cycle. Okay. So now the efficiency of the steam cycle is nothing but the net work done to the amount of heat supplied. Okay. So now, so that is W net divided by QS. Therefore, we can get it as 849.6 divided by 266.6. So we used to get the efficiency of the mercury cycle, steam cycle as 31.8%. Okay. So what is the efficiency of the mercury cycle? Efficiency of the mercury cycle is obtained as 31% and mercury of steam cycle is obtained as 31.8%. Now we are going to determine the overall efficiency of the binary vapor cycle. So efficiency of binary vapor cycle is efficiency of mercury cycle into 1 minus efficiency of steam cycle plus efficiency of the steam cycle. So now substituting the values, efficiency of the mercury cycle is 31%, that is 0.31 into 1 minus 0.318 plus 0.318. So finally we used to get the efficiency as 0.5294. Therefore efficiency of the plant is 52.94%. So previously if you observed the Rankine cycle or regenerative cycle or reheating cycle, even we are supplying at superheated steams, the efficiency is obtained as just of 30% and 40% only. Okay. Now by means of this binary system, the efficiency is increased to 50% at normal at low pressure conditions, only. Okay. So this is the method to determine the overall efficiency of the binary cycle. Okay. Now what in the next problem, first you have to determine the overall efficiency of the cycle. Next he asks you to determine the useful work in the binary vapor cycle. Okay. So now we are going to apply energy balance equation for the steam condenser and steam generator. Okay. So here the amount of heat, we know that amount of heat rejected by the steam condenser is equal to amount of heat gained by the steam generator. So M into Hm minus Hfn is equal to 1 into H1 minus Hf4. Okay. So see, for 1 kg production of 1 kg of steam, we have to supply m kg of mercury. Okay. Now from the, we know the value of Hm, Hfn, H1 and Hf4. So by substituting those values, the mass of mercury supplied per kg of steam is obtained as 11.86 kg. Okay. So in the problem, he has asked, next he asks us for flow rate to the mercury turbine. If 48,000 kg per hour of steam flows to the steam turbine, what is the flow rate in the mercury turbine? Okay. So if the steam turbine, the steam produced by the steam boiler is 48,000 kg per hour. So what is the mercury required to flow rate of the mercury required to satisfy this amount of steam supply? Okay. So that mHg is obtained as, so since it is m times to the 1 kg of steam, so here for 48,000 of steam it is m times. So that is 48,000 into 11.86, that is 569280 kilojoules. It is kgs. Okay. Now what is the useful work developed in the turbine? The useful work developed in the turbine is nothing but, useful work means here we are neglecting the pump work. If you neglect the pump work, what is the work developed by the turbine, what is the work developed by the steam turbine and mercury turbine or alone itself is considered as useful works. So because we are utilizing the total work developed by the turbine and we are utilizing the total work developed by the steam turbine, mercury turbine and steam turbines. Therefore, we are neglecting the pump, we are not considering net work done, we're just considering the work done by the turbine in the mercury and work done by the turbine in the steam cycle. Okay, now I am taking it as M into WT of HG plus WT of steam into 48,000. Therefore, so from this we can get it as we know they have determined the mass of the steam as 11.86 and work done by the turbine the mercury turbine is 101.1 and work done by the steam turbine is 851.1 into 48,000. That I used to get the values as this. Okay, so that is finally we used to get it as 9840 into 10 power 4 kilojoule per hour. Okay, to determine the power developed, so by dividing of converting hours into seconds, we used to get it as power developed, we used to get it as 9840.5 in 10 power 5 divided by 3600. So by this finally we used to get the power developed as 27.33 megawatts. So see, such large quantity of power is going to be developed by using this binary vapor cycle. Okay, only the thing is we have to remember in this binary vapor cycle is the amount of heat supplied is to the steam turbine is equal to the amount of heat rejected by the mercury condenser. So that means in this cycle we are using the combination of mercury and steam. Okay, so this is the method to solve the problems. So another case is if in a problem he has given some superheated conditions, that is, so here in this problem he has given that the steam inlet pressure condition is given as 15 bar. So if any problem it is given as 15 bar and 300 degree centigrade, we have to gather the enthalpy value tables from superheated tables. Enthalpy values from superheated tables. Okay, thank you. So in the next video we are going to discuss about this is complete discussing about steam generators. Okay, so by this video we have completed the first unit. So what we have discussed in the first unit means we have discussed about Rankine cycle, that is the basic steam power cycle, and we have discussed methods to improve the efficiency of the cycle, that is a regeneration method, reheating method, and binary vapor method or combined method. Okay, so from the unit 2, in the unit 2 what we are going to discuss is we are going to discuss about steam generators and draughting systems. Okay, thank you.